Welcome back. Oh, what's going on? Mum bun is up. Welcome back, everybody. This is Marilyn Rosano from Rosano's Casa. As you can tell, my voice, it is a little bit husky because the weather is just hot, cold, and so my voice tends to go. That and my kids weren't listening to me the other morning to get ready for school. Anyway, won't get into parenting tips or anything like that because, yes, let's just get into cooking, what I know best. Today, we are making my quick and easy, yes, that's chopsticks, quick and easy brown fried rice with miso mushrooms. Disclaimer, two things. I'm not going to be doing mushrooms today. I actually saw beautiful eggplants, aubergines, whatever you want to call them, in the fruit and veg shop, so I'm going to use them instead. And number two, I found an error in the cookbook. Not a major error. I actually forgot to put the quantity of garlic. Out of all things, garlic. Anyway, there is garlic in the recipe, of course, like all my recipes. If I could put garlic in dessert, I would. Anyway, there is garlic written to put in the method, but just not on the ingredients list. So when in doubt with my recipes, add 3 to 4 cloves of crushed garlic. We'll get to that when we get to that. So brown fried rice, miso eggplant today. Preheated my oven at 200. See, fan forced. I have a roasting dish that is lined. You can use a wok or a non-stick pan to make the fried rice. It is very quick and easy. It comes together in no time. I'll flip the camera around and go through the ingredients. Again, whenever I'm making stir fry, fried rice, anything that is going to be cooked very quickly, I always pre-chop ingredients. I cannot tell you how much this makes cooking less stressful. Just in general, like I do this anyway, and I think it's always come from having a small kitchen and small space. So I feel that, and when you generally do not have a dishwasher, have a small kitchen, I feel I kind of, saw my mum, or I taught myself as well, to kind of wash as I go, prep beforehand, just so that the whole kitchen's not upside down because we don't have much space. And yes, my voice is going. We're going to get through this episode. I promise. There is no rest for the wicked. All right, let's put the camera around, go through the ingredients. Super quick and easy, delicious. Let's just do it. All right, 1 bowl dinners. So cookbook is always available on the website, as well as an ebook version. So it's recipe number 5, as you can see. Super delicious ingredients. We forgot the garlic. Anyway, that's okay. I'm not crying about it, but I am. Ingredients, and then, of course, with every recipe in this cookbook, I have provided an individual shopping list, just in case you want to make this particular recipe. It is there. Wombok cabbage, Asian cabbage, I've just bought a baby one, finely diced it. We have coriander, we have 2 eggs, we have chili. You can definitely leave this out. You can use chili flakes, it's up to you. Spring onions, and the recipe does call for garlic chives. I wasn't able to find any at the Asian grocer. They were sold out, so you can just leave it out. Spring onions is fine. Minced garlic, it's my homemade minced garlic. White pepper. Prawns, you could totally replace this with Chinese sausage, leave it completely out. You could add leftover pork, beef, whatever. It is entirely up to you. This is one variation of the recipe, but again, like all kind of fried rice, you can add peas, you can add carrots, and the secret is microwave brown rice. I just find when you're doing kind of authentic fried rice, you usually use day-old rice, whatever you call it. Some people say stale. It's not stale, it's just day-old, just so that it doesn't, like fresh rice will just completely absorb all the juice and just be mushy. But this is a really good cheats version. You could use microwave white rice as well in this recipe, or using brown. It's healthier, and I quite like brown rice in fried rice, and I like it in soup because it holds its shape and texture a lot better. we have like a little bowl I'm gonna make our marinade. So initially we're gonna just saute garlic and chili off in some sesame oil, rice bran oil, or a neutral oil. You can use peanut, whatever you have. We've got soy sauce. I can't say this. Chinkyang vinegar, which is basically a black vinegar, and oyster sauce. That is literally the marinade for the fried rice. But first things first, we're going to get started on the eggplant because I'm going to roast that first. Not that it's in this particular recipe. I'm going to roast the eggplant first. I'll make the miso marinade. This will all come together synchronized. Let's get started on the eggplant. So firstly, I'm just taking the tip of the eggplant off. I forgot to also say, if you are liking any of my episodes, please subscribe, like, and share. It would mean the world. Help me a lot get this cooking show out there. So I'm just slicing the eggplant lengthwise, and we are going to just make a little bit of incisions, as you can see, diagonally, making sure that we don't pierce the knife all the way through. Okay, and then across, I'll just bring the camera around. Can you see the incisions? I'm going to salt, pepper this with a little bit of neutral oil, the rice bran oil. I am going to roast it flesh side first. It's probably going to take, look, every eggplant's a bit different. Might take about 30 minutes or so. We'll just check on it at about the 15-20 mark. Salt this. Oil. Today we're kind of just rolling with it casually. So salt on both sides. The reason why I'm going to do flesh side first is so that it cooks through before we flip the eggplant over. I'm going to make a marinade and then we baste the miso marinade on the flesh side when it's kind of cooked through. If we apply the marinade from now, it is just going to burn in the oven. It's just not going to work. It's going to burn and the eggplant's going to stay raw and you're just probably not going to cry because that's what happened to me once. Anyway, so this is the method that we do now. And it's probably always been the method, but I had to endure the heart pain for you guys so that I could come here and let you know how we do it. So I'll salt. We're going to make the marinade for the fried rice. Soy sauce, very easy. We're going to go in with our black vinegar. I can't say it. Chinkyang vinegar. 2 of these and oyster sauce. That is it. Super simple, I promise you. You could use this. There is like ABC, so ketchup mayonnaise that you could also use if you wanted a more sweeter touch. So we'll just combine that. Very easy, doesn't look like much, but it will coat it enough without drenching it. So we're going to go over to the stove top, put this all together. Okay, you're going to hear the range hood. I apologize. Anyway, so medium high heat, well actually high heat. We want this to come together really quick, which it will. So I have all my ingredients right next to me. Very important. Putting some neutral oil, any oil that can be cooked on a high heat. Peanut, I'm using rice bran, that's my preferred choice. Sesame oil, love sesame. I'm just using regular. There is a dark sesame. So we're just going to make sure that heats up a little bit. We're going to go in with our chili. Let's go in with chili, spring onions, pop all of them in, and give that little mix for a minute or so. I'm going to add my garlic as well. So the spring onions and chili have been cooking for about 2 minutes. We're going to go into the garlic, which is not in the bloody book. Can't believe it. Anyway, about that much minced garlic, 2 teaspoons. So let's just say 4 cloves. Don't worry, we don't really overly measure with garlic here. The reason I didn't put the garlic at the beginning is that if I did, it was going to burn. So let's go in the garlic, prawns. I'm going to cook these for a couple of minutes until the prawns turn pink before we add in our cabbage. Let's go in with our cabbage. So the prawns aren't 100% cooked through. We don't want to overcook them either. So I add the cabbage at this point just so that it can soften up a little bit before we're going to go in our dressing that we made, our marinade, and the rice. You can see after a couple of minutes the cabbage has softened up. Now I'm going to add in our brown rice. I did not pre-microwave this. There is no need to. It's going to literally come and cook together in the pan as it is. Don't worry about it being a bit lumpy at first. It will break up as it warms up in the fry pan. Just keep mixing it around a little bit and the heat will cook it through. Otherwise, you can pre-zap it in the microwave for about 90 seconds, but honestly, no need to. Let's go in with our marinade and cook it for about a minute before we add in our eggs and coriander. So again, if you are wanting to add some frozen veggies, maybe, I don't know, corn, carrots, peas. I hate peas. You'll never find peas in any of my recipes. Please don't judge me. It's 100% a textural thing. I can have snow peas. I can have pea chips. I just cannot have peas in my food. Anyway, I'm sure I'm not the only weirdo that is that feels that way. So we're going to cook it for about a minute. Yes, you can add carrots. You can add peas. I would have added it at the beginning, to be honest, and cooked it through a little bit. Again, I've just tried to keep this as simple as possible to save on time. But again, you make it your own. I just thought that the brown rice, microwave rice, was a nice little cheat version. I'm lightly whisking the 2 eggs before I make a well in the center of the pan, add it in, and the heat, I'll cook it up. Just leave it for a little bit, let it do its job, okay? I don't always have to be like my husband, constantly flipping and turning and doing all that stuff. If I leave it like this and it starts to cook, we're going to get some larger scrambly bits rather than mixing it in it completely. I don't know. I like some chunks of egg in my fried rice and stir fries. All right. Scramble it up a little bit. I'm sure someone will tell me I'm doing it wrong, but we think that it's delicious. Look at that. Got some nice chunks of egg. You can turn the heat down a little bit at this point, medium low, because everything's sort of cooked. All that's left for this particular fried rice is coriander. Again, you don't like coriander, leave it out. And I would have added in my garlic chives at this point had the gross have some. We're just changing this whole recipe, aren't we? And some white pepper. Where are we? I love white pepper with Asian cooking. It's delicious. That is it. We'll turn the heat off, folding this through. And let's go have a look at our eggplant and see if they're ready. And we'll make our miso dressing. Just so everything is, coming along nicely together. We have our fried rice done. It is sitting there. Eggplant took 30 minutes to cook flesh side down in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. Now I'm making the marinade to go miso dressing. So I've got miso, I've got ginger. Okay, I'm going to add in some rice wine vinegar. Just a dash. Okay, we're going to add in some sesame oil and some brown sugar. I know some people are like, ew, really? Yes, really. Not too much, just a little bit. This will give it a really nice caramelly taste. So mix that all together. you're just going to literally baste the top of the eggplant flesh. So I'll bring the eggplant over and I'll show you. We have our eggplants. Literally just going to take the marinade and drizzle it on top of the flesh as such. I'm going to actually add a little bit of sesame seeds to this. It's just a nice little addition. After it's cooked, you could add some fresh coriander to it as well. I do want to say, totally different note, not Asian cooking. However, you could do the exact same sort of marinade, but instead of miso, use tahini. Works a charm. If you want to do this on its own, look at me, it's a rabbit hole. Rabbit hole. We're talking about fried rice and miso, mushroom or eggplant, and I'm going down a Middle Eastern path, but you could. I'm giving you little options just in case maybe you don't have miso at home and you're like, oh, I've got some eggplant, damn, I'll do it next time. Use tahini. I always have tahini in, the pantry on standby. You could also then serve it with a bit of lebanon, Greek yogurt, coriander, parsley, fresh mint, pomegranate molasses. Anyway, the list goes on. So I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds. I'm going to roast this again, 10-ish minutes. You'll see that this will all caramelize and bubble in the oven and you'll know it's done because essentially the eggplant is cooked. Now it's just a matter of just getting that really nice caramelization on the marinade. So put this back in the oven and that's it. Honestly, I know that it was a little bit of this marinade, but so easy, like quick and easy. And I always have microwave rice in the pantry. I know some people are going to be like, ew, gross. It honestly saves you time. I think it's a really nice addition. Brown rice, I don't generally love plain on its own, but in a salad, in a soup, in a fried rice or stir fry, it just holds its shape so much nicer than white rice, I find. Gives a little bit more of a bite and it's just delicious and it's a healthier option. So anyway, put this in the oven and then we'll serve it all up. Look at this beautiful fried rice. Just going to plate some up. And this is great if you meal prep or plan for the week ahead. Makes it like reheats a charm. Really, really healthy. I usually make a batch of this. Like this is like, those weeks where you're like, I want to make my lunches for the week ahead. I make a batch of this. Keep it in the fridge. You can serve it with some, roast veggies, bok choy, broccoli. You could add some protein to this as well. Grilled chicken. It's entirely up to you. Beautiful. The mushrooms are gorgeous too. I use a combination of shiitake, enoki, and king oyster mushrooms in the recipe. Again, eggplants, work a charm. I love this photo as well. Made it to the back cover. I'm going to add the instructions for the eggplant if you wanted to do that rather than the mushrooms, especially for anyone who has a cookbook, you'll be able to just replace it a little bit easier. So cooked it, flesh side down, salt, pepper, oil, 30 minutes, flipped them over, added the marinade, the miso marinade, and I actually added the grill setting on just to really caramelize the marinade on the eggplant. So that's the only changes. Apart from that, that is it. Let me come closer. Delicious. So amazing. You can add some extra fresh chili, some extra fresh coriander to this as well. This makes a great meal prep for the week ahead. It reheats a charm. I love brown rice for that. It holds its shape and texture really well. It's healthy. It'll keep you full for quite a while as well. What else? You could definitely use day-old rice. Say, for example, you've made rice last night for dinner. You've got a cup or so left over, 2. You could definitely use that up. If you can't get your hands on the mushrooms, you can use any mushrooms you like. Button mushrooms, it's fine. I usually go to the Asian grocery store. My voice is definitely on the way out. I go to the Asian grocery store and they always kind of have like a trio mix pack. If you can get your hands on that, so good, especially like the oyster mushrooms. They hold their shape, texture, they're quite meaty, which I love to use as well. If you have Chinese sausage, you could add it into there. If you have pork, if you have chicken, you could definitely add all that to the dish. You could leave the prawns out. You could add marinara mix. Like, it's really, really endless. You could add carrots, peas, Asian greens to this. If you have like Chinese broccoli, bok choy, there are other options that you can add into the rice as well. They reheat beautifully as well. Maybe baby corn, like a tin of baby corn. So I've like given you so many options. I think the takeaway from this is probably the microwave rice. And some people are going to be like, no, I can't get past that. And a lot of people are going to be like, genius, and I also do it. So I hope it gave you a little bit of inspiration. This was the first recipe that I created for the cookbook, and I think the cookbook came alive because of this recipe, because it was different elements, came together quite quickly, and can be eaten all in one bowl. Really delicious and simple. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on. If you like this episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave a like and a comment if you make this recipe. I always like to hear your feedback, and if you made any of my recipes, please leave me a comment. I'd really, really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to go have some tea. The rest of the ginger, honey, lemon, water, and I'm going to rest this voice. We got through it. Okay, bye. I'm going to eat this whole bowl. It's supposed to be for dinner. Anyway, hope you love it. Let me know what you think. Look at that rice. Super healthy. Just yum. Anyway, enjoy. Bye.